Today we're going to be having a look at these. A very tired set of PIFCO mini lanterns. We're going to see if we can get them going and replace some shades, fix some of these melted shades, and hopefully get this set back into good working order again. So these are PIFCO mini lanterns. They are set number 1294. That number stayed with this set of lights throughout its run, and it only changed on the last generation of lights in the 90s when they went to the thicker cable and pushing bulbs, and it became 2294. They were available from the 60s. We have some fantastic artwork designs on these boxes, which is similar to the pageant lights. They came with white bulb holders. They don't have the usual ribbed domed, but they have these tapered bulb holders in white with white cable. You could get them with green cable in these earlier sets, white bulb holders, and they also had green bulb holders. I don't have any photographs of a full set or the box they came in, just this little snippet. I couldn't find any part numbers or pictures of them in sets of 35 or 40, so it seems that this set of lights was limited to set of 20. You could get them through the 80s and through to the 90s, where they transferred to the thicker cable and push-in bulbs and a completely different redesigned bulb holder. But that's a strong 30 plus year period that these lights were available, so if you're looking for a set, you should still be able to find one, because it seems that they made plenty of them and there's multiple generations of them. Although these were produced for as long as the likes of Dual Lights and Merry Lights and similar generations, they don't seem to come up too often. If you do look, you can find them, but they're not as prevalent as the previous two sets mentioned. You may have seen this design before. It's a much copied, much used design by other makers, but also they accompanied other PIFCO lights such as London lights, where you had the mini lanterns and the large carriage lights, and also accompanying PIFCO Cinderella lights. As mentioned, they were mass produced by other makers. There are some differences though. This is a PIFCO shade, and on this PIFCO one you can see 3 vent holes and it's dual pin. It will come apart. You've just got to line these little blobs of gold plastic. Turn it to there. The hole in the center is very small. Plastic is flat on the base. You can crack it open, and then the coloured part of the shade comes out. It comes out in 2 halves, like bubble plastic. Seen this kind of design on multiple PIFCO lights, and then it just goes back inside. You line up your notches with the bobbles and it goes back together. Quite a complicated piece if you think about it. Then we have these, which I believe are Noma. They've got 6 vent holes, dual pin. The pin notches are quite shallow, especially when you compare them to the PIFCO. It's a lovely dark purple colour though, might be some potential for retrofitting. Base, as you can see, is completely different. This one does not come apart. It's one piece. On the blue one, there are no holes in the translucent blue plastic, whereas on this one, there are holes. You can get it out if you try hard enough, because it's kind of locked in on these knobbles. Don't want to force it too hard. I'll see if I can get it out. It doesn't want to go. They do come out, but you risk breaking it. But I do believe that these are potentially the Noma ones, or a version of. Wouldn't mind having this purple, although the shades are quite similar. They're not quite the same, but they should fit the same on the lights, and it'd be nice to have these purple coloured ones. Again, there's potential for customization on these lights. Then we have these ones, 4 vent holes, tri-pin. Again, these could be Noma, but again, a lot of other people made them. We'll probably do a separate video of all the different variations. This one will be just for the PIFCO variant. Again, the bases are different again. It's like a combination of the previous two. But on this one, you've got gold, and then you've got black and gold, which was very weird. It's got the same locking mechanism as the PIFCO. This one's had a bit of meltage, so we'll put this one back together, put it to one side. So this green one, it's got the same locking mechanism as the PIFCO as mentioned, and then the inner translucent part is in two pieces like the PIFCO version, but it's a completely different design again. Whereas the PIFCO one was halved cylinder, this is half cylinder, but it's got these gaps for some reason, and the pattern on the inside is diamond, not bubble. Now I do know on a set a family member had many years ago, the shades would melt because apart from the vent holes up here, which as you can see are not very good because they're kind of blocked by the cage part of the shade. So a lot of vent holes were added to later ones, so they must have suffered from a lot of heat damage. As the years went on, the quality just got worse and worse, and we started getting these. So it started with these, with the gold plastic, then we started getting the black and gold plastic. I don't know if it was just a cost-cutting exercise, but then we got these, just all white plastic, vent holes, which are just blocked because the process of making them was just on the super cheap. Lots of flash. I mean, still tons of flashing on this one. I mean, this isn't the worst one. This is a good one. There's only two bubbles holding it in place, but there's no like section for it to come off because this is a bit more of a flexible plastic, whereas the gold one is a bit more brittle. And then inside, gone back to full cylinder, and this one has diamond. So there's multiple variations with similar design elements, because I remember when I needed spare shades, because I can't even remember where I got these from. Randomly enough, I started seeing them in the early 2000s, and they were being given out as prizes at a local bingo hall. And I asked the guy where he got them from, and he said he has a guy that gets cheap stuff in, and I asked him to get us a couple of sets, which he did. I actually have a set of these. The set itself was absolutely disastrous, and I took all the shades off, took the bulbs out, used the bulbs as spares, and put the shades on another set of lights, but they're absolute garbage. They don't look good. But I mean, they do light up a bit more because the light comes out of this opaque plastic, whereas it doesn't on the gold coloured ones. There we go, the worst of the worst. This is another version of the cheap ones. This one has 4 vent holes, it's warped. The flashing is absolutely horrendous. It's even covering the windows. Dual pin bayonet like on the other one. I'm surprised it even came apart. And then this one, it's all one piece. It has some slight diamond pattern on the inside. Bit more of a robust piece of plastic, but it's got the notches, which is similar to how this green one was, but they're only short. So there were multiple versions of this cheap garbage, which won't go back together. So although this one doesn't have the notches, it's got 2 little tabs, so when you put it together they just lock under. Again, it's weird how even with all these different designs, they all generally look the same, but they all share similar elements over multiple generations. I mean, I've got bags of this stuff, and they're just used for spares to keep the good ones going. So these could be contenders, along with tulip lights and spike lights, as being some of the most produced, most variations of shades in the 80s and 90s. So these are from a family member who didn't want them anymore. I've just untangled them, they were a bit of a mess. Like a lot of old PIFCO sets, this has the long piece on the end of extra cable. This one's got a little bit of a knot in it, I think I'll leave that there. For colours, we've got a green, a red, a blue, strangely a purple. I didn't know they came with purple as well. Yellow and pink. So 6 colour set. I had no idea they came as a 6 colour set. Some of the shades have some pitting marks on the plating where it's fading, or it just wasn't done very well. It's pretty much like this On most of these lights there's little gaps and pits. These have straight tapered bulb holders, not the normal ribbed domed. Little tiny bulbs. A lot of the original bulbs are in here. That's a purple one. That's on the wrong colour, but we'll just leave it in place for now. It's a bayonet fit. This doesn't have the cable grip protection in the bottom because I can move the cable inside. So this is probably a late 60s set, judging by the tiny little bulbs. The bulbs got better over age. They started getting better glass beads on the end, whereas the older ones, you can see they just look like they've been cut off or just snipped off, and they can be a bit sharp. You've got to be careful. Plug them in and see what happens. Not a lot. Let's see if we can find out where the problem is. Looks like our fuse bulb is the problem. Oh, that has blown, most definitely. Also got some meltage on this shade. I don't know if it was caused by this. That bulb isn't straight in there, so we'll remove him. We'll double check. Yeah, definitely blown. When it comes to spare bulbs, I've got some options. Got this super long later style, got this short one, and this one in between. I'll try this one in between for now because I might need this for Cinderella lights because they need short bulbs. And there we go. It's just a fuse bulb, which is good. Put that back on there. We've got a bulb out. Oh, we've got a broken bulb. So I will just isolate the set for a moment because people shout at me in the comments if I don't disconnect them. And that is going in the bin. Well, that took longer than necessary. I'm running short on 12 volt bulbs, screwy ones. Plenty of 7 volt for set of 35 and plenty of 6 volt for set of 40. Got loads of them. New and old, mostly new, but running short on 12 volt ones, but managed to find one. It's red, it's very faded, it's short, stumpy, and got a bit of a wiggle on, but it should get us going. And there we have it. This shade is a little bit of a mess, but we've got them going again. Let's see, we've got some spare shades that we can use to fix. So as you can see, this isn't exactly the same, but for the sake of just making it look a little bit better, and that's a big fat no. Can't make any kind of hybrid sets out of these, which is a shame. And I mean, look at that. That's melted right through. I mean, this looks like it might be possibly clear plastic that's been plated. I mean, this set of lights, I mean, look at that. They're two different colour blues. Oh, that's why. That's a purple bulb. See, this shade will fit. This is off another set of lights. It doesn't fit very well. Unless you're looking close, you can't really tell much of a difference. Replace this yellow one with one that's not as melted. I will say I can smell the heat coming off these. They're not amazingly bright, but I'm not happy with the smell. There's obviously an issue with these lights. I remember a family member who had a set of these and they did melt. So as for our colours, I mean, there's not much refraction. There's a bit of a shine coming off the plating. There's our green, our red. Oh, that one's got a good bit of refraction. Our blue. We've got purple, yellow, the best refraction yet. And then lastly, our pink. Great set of lights. Interesting history with the design and how it was made by a lot of other people. I'm gonna have to see if I can find some spare shades somewhere. I do need a few spare shades. Might be able to transplant the coloured collars if I can just get the plain shades. There we have it. A set of tired and need a little bit of work mini lanterns. I think all I need to do is just take the bulbs out, see which ones need a little bit of bulb paint and which ones don't, and just freshen them up a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. We've recently hit 500 subscribers, which is amazing. Like the video and share it to anybody who might find it interesting, and we will catch you on the next one.